So today it's day 3. So today we can cover the Linux commands which we have stopped yesterday. So yesterday we have seen commands like ls, ls-a, ls-a, and then change directory, and then change directory dot dot, and then present working directory. And then we have also seen like how we can create directories using mkdir. And then we have we have seen touch command, right? So today we can start with the other commands. So in case we have created a folder, and then in case if you have to create multiple folders like nested folders, for example, we have a path like we will have a folder, and inside folder you have to create another folder. Inside that folder you have to create another folder. Then you can use the option hyphen p. So when you use dash p, then actually you can create multiple subfolders inside a folder. And then in case if you have to remove a file, you can use rm, and then you can give the file name. And then normally you can use hyphen r for removing the directory and hyphen f for removing the file, but you can use like rm hyphen rf, and then you can pass in file name or directory name, whichever, so it will delete everything. And then in case if you have to copy files, then we use cp command. So cp command, it will copy. Cp is shortcut of this copy. And then mv command. So mv command is used for two things. One for moving the file from one place to another. Another is for renaming. So same command can be used for both. So when we give mv file name and new location name, then it will move the file. When we give mv and file name and then new file name, actually it will rename the file. And then touch we have already seen. And then we have something called file permissions. File permissions is that, for example, for a file, normally we will have read, write, and execute permissions. So if you see, so we can set read, write, and execute permissions. If a file has only read option, the users can only read it. They cannot write into that file. And if it doesn't have execute permission, yesterday we have written a shell script, right? So once we give the execute permission, then only that script will execute. If we are not passing the execute plus x, ex, ex, execute will be mentioned with x. If we don't pass execute, then we will not be able to run those shell scripts. And then change ownership, ch own. So what it does, for example, when we create a file or something, normally it will be created by user, right? So in case of some machines, the normal user, they cannot do certain tasks, or they will not be able to execute few commands or something. So they want to change the file permission to root or something. So we can use ch own. And then cat we have seen. And then less. What is less? For example, we will have some log files or something. So when we do cat, and then if we file some, when we give the file name, then actually it will display all the lines at once, and it will directly go into the end line. Whereas when we give less, it will just display the first lines, and then when we press enter, it will go to the next lines. And then tail. We know tail, right? In English, normally tail means which will be in the back. So in case if you are to see some lines which are at the bottom of some log or something, then we can use tail command. And similarly, head will be front. So when we use head command, we will be able to see the top lines of particular log. And then nano is a editor, and vi is also an editor. And then we have disk usage and system information things. So in case if you want to check the disk space, then you can use df-h. And then if you want to check the usage, like how much space is utilized, then you can use du-sh. And then to check the ram memory, we use free-h. And then top command is for checking the processes which is consuming the more ram and memory. So to check those processes, we can use top. In Windows, we will have services, right? Similarly, to check those things, we use top actually. And then uname. Uname is for checking the machine name. For example, if I am using Linux, then when I give uname, then it will give us whether it is Linux machine, or in case if I am using Mac, it will give us Mac. And then we have uptime. Uptime is for, like, for example, your server is running for 1 week or else 1 month, how do we know like from how long it is running? To know that one, we will use uptime. So, and then IO stat, it will give the statistics related to CPU input and output performance. And then we have another thing called networking. So in case if you want to check IP address, in Windows we will be using IP config, whereas in Linux we will be using IF config. And then these things are for setting up the Ethernet interfaces. So bring up an interface, we will use this one, and to bring down we use this down command, and for bring up we use up command. And then in case if you have to check connectivity, like whether the website is accessible or not, we use the ping command. And then curl command is that, for example, if you have to see some details of certain website, you can use curl, and then you can pass in the website, so it will download. And then, for example, if you want to download something in Windows, we just go to that website and click on download, and it will download. But how we will download in Linux? Because in Linux we will just have the terminal, we will not have any graphical user interface. Then we can use wget. When we give wget and then the path of the file, it will directly download the file. And then netstat, in case if you want to see some network statistics, like whether the port is open or not to particular IP address, then in case if you want to access some machine, that machine will have the IP address, and then that machine should be attached to certain port number, because due to security reasons we will be blocking all the ports, and only those ports which needs to be given access will be opened. So whether it is open or closed, we can check using netstat TULNP. LN or LNP, you can use P as well. Similarly, in case if you don't want to use netstat, you can use SS as well. And then trace route, for example, if I do trace route google.com, for actually google.com, it will be hosted in particular machine. So from that machine it will come to some other machine, and from there we will get to some other machine, and then it will come to other machine. So all these things we can see in trace route. And then we have processes, like for example, when we run something, we will have certain processes created. In order to see them, we will use this process. In case if you want to kill that process, we use kill. And then no up, when we run the script, actually everything will be displayed on top of the screen, right? In case if you don't want to see any of the logs, we can use no up. And then user management, in case if you have to create a new user, for example, if by default I will have my user when I install the OS, like Ashok. And then in case if you have to add new user, you can just pass in like add user and then give the username. And then you can give the admin permissions to that user using user mode hyphen ag, and then sudo, and then you have to give the username. When we pass this one, that user will get the admin password. In case if you want to change password, it is pass wd. And then if you want to switch user, like for example, if I am logged in as a user 1 and then I have to log in to user 2, then you can use su2, so that it will change. And sudo is the command for super user permission. And then we have package management. In case if you want to install something, then we can use apt. So we have apt update, apt upgrade, and then if you want to install a software, use apt install. And then this is nginx is a software. To install nginx, we have to run this command. In case if you want to remove this nginx, just we have to use remove command. This apt is for Debian based servers. Debian means Ubuntu and similar operating systems. It is used in RHEL based operating system for Red Hat and then CentOS. We have to use yum. So similarly, yum install nginx, yum remove nginx. And then compressing. So normally we will use zip files for compressing in Windows, right? Similarly in Linux we use tar command. And then we can use zip as well to zip that file, and unzip for unzipping the file. And then in case if you have to connect to any of the machines, we use SSH username and the machine's IP address. When we give this thing, we will be connecting to remote machines. And then if you want to copy files to a remote machine, we use SCP. SCP is secure copy. So we have to give SCP and the file which we have to copy, username of the remote machine and the remote machine's IP and the path of that machine. And then history we have seen. In case if you have to see the list of comments which you have used, you can use that one. And who am I? Like it will show the current user and date. In case if you have to check the date of your machine, you can use date. And if you want to shut down your machine, you can use sudo shutdown now or sudo reboot. Okay, these are the comments. So let's go into the virtual box and try out all the commands now. Like it may look like you have lots of commands, but it will we will not use all the commands all the times. Like based on the requirement, we will be using these things. But it is not tough. It is very easy. But just the thing is, you need to practice that, and you need to start writing scripts based on these things. Okay, so let's open the machine. Okay, we have this one. So I will open the terminal. Okay. So yesterday we have seen the commands. So where currently I am, present working directory, I am Kafka. So I will create a folder now. Okay. To create the folder, I use mkdir and then the folder name. Today is day 3, right? I will give it as day 3. Okay. Okay. The file already exists. I will just remove. Okay. I will create the directory and I will go into this directory. So I don't have any files now. So I am creating a file now. Okay, touch file.txt. Okay, so when we check, we have the file. Okay, it is file.txt. So and then I am creating a new folder inside day 3. Okay, so mkdir test. So if you see, we have test folder. And then if you go into test, we don't have any files. Okay, now I have to create folders inside this test folder. Okay, I will come backside uh, using cd dot dot. When I check, I am like in day 3 folder. I have to create another folders inside test. Okay, so I have shown you one command, right? mkdir hyphen p and then test new 1, new 2, new 3. Okay, now if I see, we are in day 3 folder. Now I go to test folder. Inside test folder, we will have new one because we created, after test, we created new one. If we go inside new one, we will see new 2. If we go inside new 2, we see new 3. CD new 1. Now we will see new 2. Now we will go to new 2. Now we see new 3. So if we use mkdir-p and if we create, it will create multiple folders. Okay. And if I have to come back all 3, I have to pass in like this dot dot slash dot dot slash dot dot enter. Now again I came back to day 3. Okay. Now if we see, we have the file.txt. Okay. So we have to move this file. We have to move this file to test. Okay. Okay. First, before moving, we can copy this file. Okay. CP and then I have to copy into test folder. Sorry. First I have to copy the CP file name I have to give and then we have to give the folder name. When I do this one, enter. So again the file is here because I have just copied one more copy of this. So if I go into test, actually inside test we should have new one, right? So we will have new one plus file.txt as well. So this file is different and this file is different. Like same file will be copied. Now if we modify, these changes will not reflect here because it is just a copy, just like Windows. Okay. We have created the file. Now I have to remove the file. To remove the file, I have used rm. So you just follow up like this. You can use rm-rf for file and folder as well. If I do rm-rf file.txt, it is deleted. Now you have to remove the folder. To remove the folder, rm-rf and then rm-rf and um, new one, enter. So if you see, it is deleted. So this is how we can delete files and folders. And then, for example, let's come back. If we are here, we have the file. Okay. Now I have copied. Now we have to move. Okay. Now we will see moving. So to move, we will use mv and then file name, and then we have to give the folder name. When we do this one, now we don't have the file. If you go into test folder, we have the file here. Okay, so I have to rename this file into something. So to rename, we have to use mv, we have to pass in the file name, and then we can give it as new file. I will rename it as new file.txt. Now if I see, this file name is renamed to new file.txt. And then we have seen about change file permission, right? So if you see, if it is a directory, means folder, it will be like D. If it is a file, it will start with dash. Okay, so it is having a dash. And then if you see, we have read. If you see this one, okay, we can just I will just copy this one. Okay, I will just paste it here. So we have something like um, read. So we have something like read write dash and then read write dash and then read write read dash dash. So what happened? Um, so normally, if we have seen before, normally we will have something called binary numbers, right? So similarly, by using the binary numbers, the permissions will be allocated. Um, one second, I will just connect the system. So, if you have seen earlier, actually in binary numbers, how things will be like, it will be like 0, 1, 10, 11, 100, 101, 110, 111. And then here we can take things like read, write, execute. Read is referred with R, like small r, write is W with W, and then execute is X. So let's fill these zeros to be three number digit. Okay, so this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so if we see, uh, this is read, write, execute. So it will be like, first one will be like dash dash dash. Second one will be like dash dash execute, because if one is there, it is execute, right? Like this, dash write dash dash write execute, r dash dash r dash execute. R W dash R W X. Uh, so it will be like this. So we will be assigning whenever one is there, we will assign. If one is there, we will write this. If zero is there, it will be dash. So similarly, now the file has permission like hyphen dash RW. Like dash is first dash is to represent file. Okay. Then we have three words, and then we have three words, and then three words. So what is the code for this? First one is RW dash. RW dash. RW dash is 6. Okay. RW dash is 6. And then RW dash. Again, it is 6. And then R dash dash. R dash dash. It is 4. So the code is 4. So um, when we change permissions, okay, like for example, so if we see, we have given chmod 755 file.txt. So what does this mean? So based on what we have said here, it is just like chmod. We have to pass in chmod, and then we have to pass this number, and then we have to pass the file name. Okay. So we will be able to change the permission. For example, here they are giving read, write, read, write, read, write, read. So I have to give execute permission as well. Like I have to give execute permission so that I can use like chmod. We can if we I want only execute, then I can give as 111 and then file name, because this one has only execute permission. So let's come to the demo. So the file is like 664, right? Now I have to change it to 111 ch on 111 new file .txt. Now if I give this one, it will just have the execute. Now okay. So in case if we are not able to execute, we have to pass in as sudo, and then it will ask for password. I will just give password, and then if we see speech dispatch. Sorry, it is chmod mod. Own is for changing the ownership of that file. If I see here, I have changed it to 111, right? So now I am just seeing XXX. It has only execute permission. Before this, it had read permission, right? Now it has only write, like execute permission. Similarly, if I have to give all the permissions to that one, then I can give it as 777. So if I give it like this, like any user can do anything on this file. So why we have three things? Like here we have read, write, execute. Again we have read, write, execute. Again we have read, write, execute. We can have only one, right? Why we are having multiple things? That is because that is because so um, this this first dash is file, and then this second three letters is there, right? Read, write, and dash. This is for the user. Okay. And then we have one more read, write, dash. This is for group, the group to which we are giving. And then this third three digits is it is for others, like in case they are not belonging to your team or something. In case if they have to do some modifications, we have to give this permission. And if we have to apply something to the entire group, we can do this one. In case if you have to apply this for a user, we can use this one. So if you have to modify this, you can do it like this. And also, in case if you want to give just execute permission, we have one more thing. If you see this one, so now again I will change the mode to 111, and I have to give just permission like read permission just alone, only execute permission I have to give. Then we can use ch mod plus. In case if we are using plus, it is like adding. If it is minus, it will remove. So I am giving plus, and then what I have to give? I have to give like read permission, right? For read permission, it is R, and then we have to give the file name. So if you give like this, it will give permission to all the three, like for user, group, and then for the others. If you see now, read dash execute, read dash execute, and read dash execute. So it doesn't have write permission. Now I have to give write permission. So if I have to give write permission, I have to use plus W. W is for write. Now if I see read write execute, okay, minus x. Okay, right. It has applied only for user, whereas I now removed execute permission. So it has removed from all the files. Okay, let me try y. Okay, yeah, I have also never seen this one. So when we give write permission, it is only applying to the user who is applying this one. For the group and others, it's not applying. So in case if you have to enable write, you can use the code which we have seen, like 777 or something which we have used, so that you can give the permission. Okay, and then we have something called ch1. And if you see the file, okay, actually here the file name owner, it has changed to 777 because we made a mistake here. If you see, we have changed the owner to 777. That's why before this, the user was like something this. So let's create a new file actually. Touch file 2. If we see this file too, actually we have the user Kafka, and then other root user is also Kafka. But in case if you have to execute something, or if you have to change the permission of this file, like it should have all the access, then we have to change the ownership. So how we can change? To change ownership, so we have to use ch1, and then for what access we have to give, we have to change it to root, and then again I am changing the full group permission to root, and then I am giving file name to which we have to give file to. If I enter, okay, let's pass sudo. If we see, the ownership of this file is changed to root. Now this file will have the root access, so that you can do any operation. um, okay, and then we have these things. So we can see less and tail commands. Okay, so let's just check this history. So we will get these things. Just copy this one, and if I list the file, um, okay, I am creating a new file. So I am just pasting the commands which I copied here. Okay, so um, okay, now the log is ready. So if I do cat log, If it is a short file, we will be able to see everything. As this is a big file, when I do cat log, it will show all the files and it will directly go into the end of the file. Okay, but I have to see the top of the file. How can I see? We can use head. To see top comments, we can use head, and then we can mention how many lines we have to see. For example, if I have to see first 10 lines, we can use head 10 and then log. If I do this one, I will be able to see just top 10 lines. If we go to up, the top 10 lines are this. And then I have to see like bottom 10 lines, like these 10 lines I have to see. So what is the command? Tail. Tail, and then I have to see 10 lines. So log. See, I am seeing from 537. So if I have to see 20 lines, yeah, we can see that as well. Just pass in as 20. So we will be able to see 20 lines. Uh, Similarly, so next command is that head tail nano vm, and then disk usage. And then if we want to like check the disk usage, we can use df hyphen h. So it will show the disk usage, like how much percentage it is used and what is the exact allocation. So I have allocated 49 GB and 25 GB is used and 22 GB is available. And then if you want to see the disk usage, we can use du or else du dash. Okay, it is showing us 8K, like that much disk is used. And then we can use free. Free command is for checking the memory usage. If you want to see, you can use free hyphen h. So it will show like how much memory is allocated, total memory, and how much is used and how much is free. So using free command, we can see that one. Um, and then we have top command. Top command is for um, checking the top processes which is consuming more memory. So if you see, top commands are these things. So these processes are consuming more memory. Um, and then we have something called uname. So uname, it will just give like which operating system we are using. um, See, we are using Linux, right? So it is giving us Linux. And then we have something called uptime. So for how long this machine is running, so if you have to check that one, you can give uptime. If you give that one, it is up for 40 minutes. Like in case of servers, it will be running for 6 months, 7 months, whatever it is. In case if someone asks like how long it has been running, so we can give them the exact time using this uptime command. Similarly, if you want to see the date of this machine, you can just pass in data. If you pass in date, it will show the exact date when what is the exact date it will show. So, and then we have these networking concepts. So here we have to check the IP of a machine. Then how you can check? You can use if config. So this is the IP of my machine, and then we have a Docker instance. It has the IP of this one, and we have few Ethernets, and this has this IP. And then ping. For example, we are seeing some application issue, and then we have to check whether we have proper network issue, means we have proper network, then we use ping. So ping will give the response. So yeah, it is giving the response. So we are able to access the internet. We can check by using this ping command. And then we have something called network statistics. We can use netstat hyphen tulnp. If you enter this one, we will know the IP address and the port which is assigned, and we can know the status. If it is listen, it is open. In case if it doesn't have anything, it is like closed and it is not listening. So these IPs are open. It is in the state of listen. So similarly, we have something called ss-tulnp. So same thing. So we can use ss command as well. It will also list like what and all services are available and their statuses. So, and then we have something called curl. So curl will give the details of certain website. So in case if a user gives you something and you have to identify some data, then you can use this one. It will give the details of that particular site. See, if you see, we will get the details like this. So we will get the status. For here it's something, it is like 301. Normally we will get the status code like 200, 400, 501, whatever it is. And then we have something called wget. Wget is for downloading any of the files. For example, let's take one example. Okay, they have given any file. What is this? Okay, I'm not able to copy things. Oh, okay, so I'm just getting this link. Copy link address. Okay, so I will just get this copy link address and then I will try to execute this one using wget, and then I paste it here. Okay, and I just enter. Okay, so actually I'm seeing some certificate issue. Just I will just do this one, and here they themselves they give this command. Okay, just copy this one and paste it here. Okay, so if you see, it is downloading. So actually, if you see, it is downloaded, and if you do ll, you will be able to see that file. So the exe file is downloaded. Similarly, like in case if you have to download any software into Linux system, so actually in Windows we have this Chrome browsers, everything, and we can do. But in actually, at least this Ubuntu has some GUI options. When you use RHEL, it will be like only you will have the terminal. So if you have to download something, you have to use these commands like wget or something to install any of these softwares. And then netstat we have seen, ss we have seen, this straight route we can see when we do Kubernetes. And then ps, ps is for checking the process. So if you give ps, it will give the processes. Like we have two processes now, so we can use this one. And then ps hyphen aux, so this will give all the processes which have been used before as well. So it will give those things. And then if you have to kill a process, you just pass in the kill command, and then you can pass in the id, so that it will directly kill that application. So let's take this id, and you can pass as just kill hyphen 9, and then you can give the process. So actually it is not running currently, that's why it's giving like that. In case if you have any application, when we know the process id pid, we can give that process id into this kill, so that it will kill that process. And then add user, this is for creating a new user. If we have to add new user, just use the command add user and then give in this name. So these things and all like are not important for DevOps, we don't use much. And then in case if you want to change password for that particular user, you can use password. And then sudo we have seen, right? When we executed few commands, we were seeing some issues. So to convert ourselves into like sudo user and to run the command, we have to use this one. nginx. And then package management. Okay, so we actually yum command, it will not work in this because it is Ubuntu. So we will use apt. So apt is already there. So now let's install nginx. Okay, sudo apt install nginx. So nginx is a software. So it will ask yes or no. When I give yes, okay, 1 second. When I give yes, just I have given the command, and then it has looked for the package, like whether that package is available, and then it is asking for yes or no. I will give yes. So it started installing that nginx. So nginx is ready. So how can we find whether nginx is installed or not? We can use nginx hyphen version. Okay, here we have to use hyphen capital V. So when we give nginx hyphen V, it is showing nginx 1.24.0 is installed. So I have to remove this one. Okay, to remove, we can use sudo apt remove, and then it will ask yes or no. We give yes, and then it is removed. Now if you see an nginx-v, it will show no such file or directory. When we did here, it was showing the nginx being installed. So using this, you can install any software in case if you have to install Python, or else if you want to install anything like any package or any software, you can use apt. They will have their repo. You have to install those repos first, and then you have to install. So we will be using the same method for installing all the softwares, like Kubernetes, Docker, whatever it is. To install them, we have to use this apt method, apt package manager. And then this is for zip unzip. These things we can see later. And even ssh we can see later, because this ssh and all, when we like study aws or kubernetes, then we can connect to different nodes and different vmwares. Then we can use this one. Similarly, at the time we can use this scp command as well. And then history we have seen already. And then this we have something called alias. Alias is that um, we use ll command, right? So actual command is ls hyphen l, and we can't always type ls space dash l. So as a shortcut we use ll. So we are defining it as a variable. So once that is done, we can always use ll, so that it will execute the command ls hyphen l always. And then who am I, we have already seen, to show the current logged in user, and then date. And then to shut down or to reboot, we can use the command. So we can just copy this one, and then we can execute. So I'll just paste it. That's it. It is shutting now. So again, if you want to start, you can command start this one. Okay, so we have seen almost all the comments now. In case if you are missing something, even many comments are there, but they are not much important. We can write basic scripts which is required, and to start with, these comments are enough.